Hey guys, welcome back. This is part 2 of the river walk. We actually recorded a segment the other day when we did the river walk video, but for some reason the GoPro footage didn't turn out of this segment that we recorded. There was a bunch of audio issues, it was bad, so I came back down here today to re-record this because it's something I'm passionate about. I want to share, as I feel it's also something very important to see. Debbie's not in this one. She's still on the land. She has a bunch of work to do there, and I really wanted to get this up, so I had to come at it alone. And Vela, stay here. And so here I am back at the river. This is the same spot. This is where we came the last time before I cut the video. And so now I'm gonna re-record this segment. So, all that said, we're here at our river. This is right behind our property. And as you can see right now, the water's pretty low. This is how it is in dry season, so we don't get as much rain, obviously. But you can see here on the sides, the riverbanks, this is where it swells to. Like when it rains, and see in the last video, Debbie was standing right here, so you could see like this riverbank right here is taller than she was. So that's how high. She's not here in this video, so you can't see that reference, but yeah, this river swells up intensely when it's raining. So what we wanted to point out, now I don't want to focus on this part so much and make such a bleak picture, but again, I feel like this is important to see for the people that don't live in it. Right across the river here, you know what this all is? This is palm oil. This is a massive oil palm plantation. And now this is actually illegal what they've done here. Deforesting right up to the riverbank and then planting palm. And you can see why. So they're supposed to leave a patch of jungle in between the river, but this is a scenario like where it's easier to ask for forgiveness than to ask for permission. I mean, once it's cut down, it's cut down. What are they gonna do? It's not really much, right? And so this is, I'm gonna show you more in a second here, but I just wanna look at this one section here. This is what happens when you cut down the rainforest and replant something that's not native here. You get massive erosion like this. Now on this side, this is jungle that's intact. This is what it's supposed to be like. The riverbanks are healthy. There's no massive cliff like that. That cliff here is a sign that this is not nature. Nature doesn't do this. I mean, there are landslides and things like that that happen in nature, but that's not what this is. This is erosion from having the jungle cut down right here. And so what happens here, this is the trickle down effect that happens. So they deforest the jungle, which causes species to move out of the area. It displaces many different species. It affects the biodiversity of the rainforest. And then it affects the riverbanks, so the river erodes. And then what happens is it brings all this sediment downriver, and this river here drains into the Golfo Dulce, not even 2 kilometers away from here. It drains into the ocean. All this sediment from the erosion spills out into the Pacific, covers up the coral, and kills it, because then the sunlight cannot reach the coral. So the trickle down effect there, it affects the rainforest, the species there, the riverbanks, goes into the ocean, affects the coral, affects the sea life. Everything's connected, so ultimately all of this is affecting us. And palm oil has become quite ubiquitous, hasn't it? It's in almost everything. If you read the ingredients, I think it's even masked in like, so you could see vegetable oil maybe, or seed oil, and it's palm oil. So you know, it goes even by different names on ingredient labels, like we know. Oh, she's up there now. You can get a bit of perspective of how tall that cliff is right there from erosion. That's insane. And I know it's hard to avoid this shit. I know, trust me, but I'm trying to. And when I see stuff like this, I'm trying even harder, because the trickle down effect is so large. And because this is happening all around us, you have to see it. So it's, you can't just put your blinders on. Oh, you hear that? There's a whole family of monkeys somewhere out there. Hear that? That's insane. I wonder if those are capuchins. I think those are capuchins, the white-faced ones. Anyways, getting off topic here. Yeah, so when you live around it, you have to see it. And one of the reasons why we purchased this land actually is because it's kind of surrounded by this. And that might sound weird, but it serves as very large inspiration for us to keep our land protected and intact, because we see what's gone on in the surroundings, and we want to create a little piece of paradise where animals have refuge. And you know what? They do take refuge at our land. It's unbelievable, the biodiversity that we have on our land, and in comparison to, well, this. So that was one reason why we bought our land. It didn't scare us away. It was kind of hard to see at first, and hard to accept that a lot of our surroundings has been destroyed for palm oil. So when you go up the river this way, this is where it goes into the corridor to Corcovado. So it's all jungle. It's how it's supposed to be. This way, going to the beach, I'm going to show you. This is something to see. So like I said back there, every time I bike through the palm oil to come to our land, it's a reminder of what I'm doing here and what I'm creating. And instead of focusing on it as being a shitty situation, I'm focusing on it in the way that it's inspiring me to do better. So I'm kind of making it into a positive scenario. I don't think I'm explaining that quite how I want to. I don't know how to articulate myself right now, but I'm not bummed out every time I see the palm oil. It's more like I've turned that negative into a positive. It's more that I'm driven to keep moving in this direction that I'm moving. It drives me to keep trudging forward and to keep doing better and better, even if it's only small steps at a time, to keep doing better and better and better for this planet, for all of us. So yeah, for me, this palm is, in a really fucked up way, kind of inspirational. And it's hard, maybe a little bit hard to make it out from the video, so you kind of have to take my word for it. These plantations are massive, and it's not just palm oil that's the problem here, it's also cow pasture. So they've cut down a lot of rainforest along riverbanks for cow pasture, and the same thing happens. It erodes, the erosion goes into the ocean, it strangles the coral, kills it. Same problem. It's the same thing. So it is not just oil palm out here that's the problem. So I'm going to bring you to this point here. It just keeps going. And this point here, you can see it's to the left, it's to the right. Look at this. They even drive their tractors through here, through the river, up in there. Like, there's an elaborate road network, and it's massive. It just keeps going. It just keeps going in this direction. It's the left, it's the right. It's everywhere. It's literally everywhere. There's so much rainforest that has been cut for palm oil, and it's an eye-opener, man. It's really an eye-opener, and it's something that, like I said before, I'm becoming more passionate about because, well, we have to protect our earth. This is the thing that sustains us. And I want to reiterate once more time, this video is not to be doom and gloom and show you like the shitty part of Costa Rica and, you know, the shitty part of our humanity. I'm not judging this. I'm simply just showing you something that we live in that has made us think, and hoping that it makes you think too. The more we raise our consciousness to what's actually happening with this stuff, the better it's going to be, the less demand it's going to be. Just like with the pasture, it's the same thing. When you see the pasture along the river and the erosion that's happened as a result of that, maybe don't eat meat so often. It's putting less of a demand, so less of this stuff happens. And if we start cutting out palm oil more and more, less of this is going to happen, you know. And that's it. That's all I wanted to say. It's still a very beautiful river, and we're super blessed to have this clean water coming from the mountains. I wish our other video didn't get compromised. I felt like it was so much better done when I was doing it with my wife, because she's also very passionate about this and very knowledgeable with this stuff, especially like with erosion and things like that. She knows what she's talking about. And you know, the last video was even more succinct. We did it in a shorter time. It was better explained, but the audio didn't work. So this is what it is. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope it was an eye-opening experience for you, and I hope you take something away from this, and I hope it can serve as inspiration to you like it does for me. And yeah, that's it. I hope you enjoyed, and until next time, peace out. Love you guys. Pura vida.